All right. Hello, readers. Welcome back to the She Reads Romance Books podcast. I am so excited to talk with my special guest today, who is not only empowering women's sexuality with her store Fantasy Gifts in New Jersey, but she is also helping romance readers find their next favorite book as the owner of the recently opened Romantasy Bookstore, a romance-only bookstore in New Jersey. And here to talk about both of those amazing stores is Dee Bertino. Welcome, Dee.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And I just realized we had technical difficulties this morning, and I realized I grabbed my husband's iPad and talk about female empowerment. I'm under Bob Bertino, my husband's name. So I feel like a handmaid now at this point, but
We are good. We are good. I'm just so grateful that you are here, and it's going to be so much fun talking to you about all the things that you have your hands in. But to give some readers or the listeners some context, you had reached out to me earlier this year to help create a list of romance book titles to help stock the romance bookstore that you were opening, and that is now open now for customers. And I have to say, it was so much fun creating that list because I think you are living out my dream in starting and operating a romance bookstore. So I'm grateful to have helped with that project, and I cannot wait to hear all about it. Oh my gosh, it's
well,
amazing.
your list was instrumental when we decided to, really capitalize on this romance trend that's been, I feel like, sweeping the nation. Obviously, I mean, I love the books. I'm a big reader, but it's not my only genre that I read. We're all busy women. You can only read so many books. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I really want to start a romance bookstore. Where do I start? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like there are so many different books, right? Like
Yes.
so many books, authors, series, um, old ones, new ones, like new releases every week. It was overwhelming. And so the first thing I did was when I came across your newsletter and your podcast, I'm like, well, this is an expert. So let me just reach out to Leslie and just say, hey, you know what? If you were starting your dream bookstore, what titles would you put in? And wow, what a list did you come up with?
Oh, I'm so glad it was helpful.
Oh, it was instrumental.
Awesome. Well, okay, Romantasy Bookstore. I want to talk about it, but I feel like we have to take a step back first. And can we talk about fantasy gifts first? Because I feel like that was sort of the lead in, or maybe
Yes.
that's not true. So tell me a bit about the store, when or why you opened it, what your mission is with it. Tell us more.
So Fantasy Gifts has been around since 1980. It was actually started by my in-laws. It's a sexual health and wellness chain of stores. We have locations in Minnesota and in New Jersey. And I was a lawyer when I met my husband. But when I met him, he was like, my parents work together. It's always been my dream to work with my wife as well. So I quit the practice of law and we started this journey on these sexual health and wellness boutiques. We have 3 stores in New Jersey that we run, and it's always been primarily women and couple focused. We have highly trained staff. We really try and make our customers feel comfortable buying things that are obviously more personal in nature. But I'll tell you what happened is 2 things happened. One, 50 Shades of Grey happened.
Yeah.
Do you remember that
Oh,
little
yeah.
book?
Yep. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So when 50 Shades of Grey boomed, all of a sudden, like it gave, like I found out about 50 Shades of Grey through like my son's baseball team. Like I went to baseball practice and all these moms were reading this book and I'm going like, how do I not know about this book? Right. So
Mhm.
everyone was reading the book and all of a sudden it became very, I feel like very mainstream and acceptable to be like, hey, this is a racy book and we're all going to read it.
Yep.
So 50 Shades was a huge boom for us. And then the second boom was COVID because we're all locked down with our partners and ready to murder them. So, you know,
Let me
so you
tell you
had to
how
try
not to
any kind
and
of
do something
escape and
more
outlet
fun.
because you were going to murder your partner. So at least I was. Maybe I don't want to speak for the whole world. Just
Oh,
I
for
was ready to
sure.
murder my partners.
And you wanted to help cut down on murders. It had.
Absolutely. That I mean, I was a public defender. I wanted to lower the murder rates.
That's exactly right. So then, okay, so when did this idea be like, okay, these stores are being successful. We love promoting sexual health and wellness. When did the whole bookstore idea come
So
about?
we've always carried like a small selection of like racy, I call them racy novels. They really weren't like the good romance novels. I'll call them like, erotica novels. We've always carried a small selection of that.
Mhm.
And so I honestly, though, there's a local bookstore in our area, and I will shout them out because they're wonderful. Kiss and Tail in Collingswood, New Jersey. They are such a great bookstore, and they are the OGs in my area. And so I went to their bookstore, which is just cute and adorable and friendly and warm and inviting and everything. I was an English major in college, so like I was nerding out there. I was like, oh my God, this is a dream. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, first of all, I didn't want to, impede on them, but we're miles away from them. So I was like, what? We had this little storefront next to our existing storefront. I'm like, it would be great. Why don't we open a bookstore in this little storefront? And then if people want to come through what we call the magic portal into fantasy gifts and continue their fantasy, they're welcome to do so. But they don't have to. They can stay on this side of the portal. There's no pressure to go to that side of the portal. So
I love that.
but I'd say about 75% of people cross through the magic portal and go into fantasy gifts. Because I think if you're comfortable with these books and the journey you're on with these books, you're comfortable with what happens next.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it seems like it's serendipitous that the place right next door opened up. That's
Oh, it was
incredible.
it was amazing, and it's honestly, like I said, it was just me and my staff, we just nerded out over this. We just wanted to be cute and adorable. My husband did the built outs, and it's all wallpaper and it's warm and cozy. Yeah, it's just like we fight over who gets to be buried there. So,
That is awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, sounds like total dream come true. Oh my gosh. But what were there? I mean, this is a big endeavor.
it
Like,
is.
I mean, you're already running multiple businesses,
Yeah.
so now you're like, okay, I'm taking on this one. What were, because this is all completely new to me, what were some of the obstacles or what were like the biggest challenges or even some of the biggest, like, oh my gosh, highlights that you just didn't expect too?
I think the biggest obstacles were the books. And that's why, again, you were so instrumental. And I reached out to a couple bookstagrammers and kind of asked them all the same question. Yours was the most comprehensive list by far, though. And I will say, people come in and compliment us all the time on our selection of books because we don't just have new books. We have like those old favorites, the ones like, some of those titles you gave me, I'm like, I'm going to publishers. I'm like, okay, this was written like 10 years ago. Can you find this for me? But I was determined to have every book. I'm like, if if someone has taken the time and care and energy to read a book, and you know how this community is, like when you read a book, you want to share it, you want to talk about it, right? And so I feel like when people like give me their recommendations, I'm like, if you tell me this is a good book, I might not enjoy the book, but if someone else thinks it's a good book, I'm getting that book in.
Yeah.
And not every trope is my, we all have our own jam, right? Or all things
Yep.
that we tend to read.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like your list was so varied and you covered every genre possible, which was amazing. So that was the most overwhelming thing. I was going like, oh my God, I need to get, 2000 titles in, and where do I start? And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the publishers were not that helpful. So it was really bookstagrammers who were much more helpful. Yeah.
That's surprising. But one of the amazing things, about what I love about the genre is, like you said, there is something for everyone, whether it's
Yes.
a trope you like or don't like, there is something. Or, if you don't want monster romance, you don't have to read it, but there
Exactly.
is that for you, right?
Exactly.
And I was purposeful in that list for you because I'm like, everybody reads the latest and greatest, but there are so many from over the years that I'm like, don't miss these ones. They're so great. So that makes me happy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, we got them literally all in. and
Awesome.
and I do, and I love it because I do feel like, and people want, customers want like the mainstream titles, they want the indie titles, they want a cross section.
Yeah.
The thing that surprised me the most is Blind Date with a Book.
People love
I
it, I
mean,
assume.
what's that?
People love it. Is that,
Huge hit. And it kind of shocks me because in our fantasy gift stores, we do sell like mystery bags
yeah.
also, which also surprised me. My manager was like, "You've got to get mystery bags in." I'm like, I'm not spending money on something if I don't know what's in it. Are you crazy? Like, I don't even like to play the slots. Like, I'm not a gambling person at all. But yeah, people love to be surprised. And I was really surprised. So now we do Blind Date with a Book, but we also do mystery box with a book and a toy in it.
Oh, cool.
So, and those have been going well too. So yeah, it surprises me. I really feel like that has been, yeah, we cannot keep those in stock. People always want a mystery bag. And I think too, it's because people want to be surprised, you
That
know?
I would too. That sounds really fun because
Yeah.
you get plus because you're like, oh my gosh, maybe this is a new author I've never heard of. And
Right.
like I love their writing or a new trope that I'm like, I didn't think I liked it, but now I do. So that's really a fun way to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it
Oh
is.
my gosh. Have you talked about another bookstore? Have you reached out to any? Like, is the community of romance
Oh
books?
my God, the community's amazing. I feel
Yeah.
like this is the most welcoming community. You know, when we did our grand opening, like other bookstores all reached out with their congratulations and nice words. And if you need any help or advice or guidance, I feel like this, you know, and I feel like there are so many, you know, we're local, right? Like we don't sell books online. I feel like you can get books from Amazon. So unless you're within a small radius, you know, we are your local community bookstore. And so I feel like, but the number of authors who have come in, we have a resident author now. Shout out to Lenny Mack. I don't know if you've read
Nice.
Chasing Tides or she's amazing. But she's our local resident author now, so she's doing book clubs for us. But so many authors have come in because I didn't realize in the publishing world either. Like you really, these authors work. Like they have to hustle a lot.
Hustle a
Yeah.
lot. Yes. I mean, you just when you love your author, you just want them to be able to like hunker down and just crank out the books, but they have to do all the things. Like
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. I feel like it's a lot what publishers ask them to do. I really do because I feel like you want them just to, you know, create.
Yeah. Yes.
Instead, they've got to be on Instagram. They've got to go to, I mean, I don't think anyone works harder than a romance author, honestly.
For sure. Oh, but that's so wonderful that you're offering a platform for her and other local authors to come
Yes.
share their work and meet readers and all of that fun stuff. That's great. So you're running book clubs in-house too?
We're
That
running book clubs. We have a happily ever after one, which is more of like a, you know, contemporary rom-com one, and then we have a sinful chapters one, which is more dark romance.
Mhm.
So, and then we have a resident author book club. So Lenny hosts that, Lenny Mack, and she's great because she's doing one with Christy Schillig, and they're discussing Eleanor Clover's book, The Heartbreak Hotel. And so what I love, it's like it's two authors discussing another person's book, and I just think it's such a cool, like again, as an English major, I just geek out over that. I just think it's such a cool perspective to hear them talk about how another author approaches their work.
Yes.
It's just a really cool insight into it.
That is very cool. Oh my gosh. Well, how do you or your staff get anything done then? Because now you're like all this temptation on the shelves. Read this. I'm going to read this.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's horrible, honestly. It's just it's a nightmare because like, and I always say like, and I think that's what's so funny too about customers, and you know this from your podcast and from your newsletter is that you know I call fans of the genre we're feral readers,
Feral. Yes.
right?
Yes.
And people will come in and buy like 10 books and they're always talking about like, oh, she's gonna go on my TBR pile. I'm like, well, there needs to be a balance, you know, between
Right.
your TBR and your red. Like, you make sure you balance that. They're like, no, we're not balancing anything. Like, you know. And the
That's so good.
collection, you know, I love like the way like publishers have gotten very clever with the way like they now spray the pages and come up with limited editions because people like, I mean, like look at your bookcases behind you, which is gorgeous, right? Like people want a gorgeous bookcase. They really do.
They do. Oh my gosh. It's incredible. What has been like flying off the shelf since you opened? Like, do you have certain authors or titles that you just can't keep, or has it really been a wide range that people are sort of exploring?
It's really been a wide range for me. Like, so it's funny, like our store's kind of like, I don't want to say divided, but like we have like, and I wish I'd done this in my store so you can see how pretty it is, but like we walk in, there's like dark romance fantasy on this side, and then this side's more like contemporary rom-com, and then books down the middle. And like I always joke, like this is my side. Like I love a rom-com, I love a contemporary. I just, you know, that's my thing. A lot of my staff is that side though. So we always kind of compete over whose side gets more. And I will
Gotcha.
say lately, maybe it's because it's Halloween, right? But the dark romance, the dark fantasy, that has definitely been our more popular genre. But I think Halloween has a little bit to do with it. I think like Allie's new book, you know,
Yeah.
Bride and all. I think that has helped push that one ahead a little bit. But I still
Yeah,
think
that
this
makes
side is
sense.
important too. They're both important sides.
But there has been such a surge for romantasy titles and so forth. But you're right, like the timing of what sort of hits and not by season is kind of fun to explore too. Who knows if holiday romances then will switch soon in the next month or so for you. But
I think, people are already buying like Megan Quinn's book, Merry
yep,
Christmas, You Filthy Animal. That's already been flying off the shelves. I think it's like people are ready. Yeah.
you're right. I know.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're feral. We are voracious and want them
Yes.
all like as much as we can. And even if they are just going to sit at home on the TBR, it's like they're there. I won't forget them. And I'm just going to keep going and buying more just in case. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's single-handedly saving the publishing industry, really. I
For
mean,
sure.
because you always have the option of your library or your Kindle, right? There, you
Right.
always have that option, right? So why are people coming back to bookstores? Why are bookstores now opening, like especially like genre-specific bookstores? And I think again, it comes back to community. You want to share the moment with someone. Everyone who comes into the store is always like, oh my God, have you read? They're talking to, like, I don't even need to sell, right? They'll just talk to
Yeah.
each other and,
I love
you
that
know, and sell the books to each other because, like, when you find a good book, even more so than a good TV show or a good movie, you want to share that with the masses,
for sure.
you know?
And like you said, if you find someone who agrees with you and then you can just sort of like go back and forth about it, it's like the best feeling in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Or even when you find someone who doesn't, like, even I think that's even great too. It's like, what do
Yeah.
you mean? Like, this was like, I love, or I will say, so the big debate we have, full disclosure to your listeners, I'm not an Akatar fan.
Okay.
Didn't love it.
I see.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, I read the first one, barely got through it. Someone's like, you got to get to book two. I'm like, I barely got through book one. Okay, there is no book two in my horizon. Okay,
Yeah.
there's too many good books to read.
Yes,
So, but I love that you can have that debate with people,
for sure.
Like, I think, especially in these crazy times, it's nice to just have civilized debate and discourse on something,
I agree. I totally
you
agree.
know?
I struggled through that myself. Towards the end, I felt like, okay, it redeemed itself. And yes, I did read book two, which I love, but even that was sort of long. So I
Yeah,
haven't gone past book two, I fully admit myself.
I know. But again, people are fanatical about it. I was more like Fourth Wing. I loved Iron Flame, Onyx Storm. I loved those books. Those were kind of my jam.
I know. It's like, Rebecca, let's go. We need the next one. Give us
I
some.
know. She writes dialogue, I think, better than anybody.
Yeah, I love her contemporaries. You probably love too. Like,
Yes, I love her contemporaries. They're gut wrenching. I think what annoys me too, and I read an article one time about with Jodi Picoult,
mhm.
and she was basically saying like people discount her as a serious author because she writes so many books. And I'm like, you know what? Though, but she's a prolific writer. Like, if you read her stuff, it's well researched, it's well written, it's always different. And I feel like that's the same thing with this genre. I think people discount this genre, and I think they really discount how much work and effort and talent goes into writing these books.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, and you can tell, like when you read a really good book, you're just like, or I should say, when you read a not so great book, but then when you read one that's like blows you away, you're like, wow, like
Yes.
there is such a talent here.
Yeah.
Like I could never do that. And I'm just in awe of this woman who is writing this fantastic book. And because it has a happily ever after, who cares? It shouldn't dismiss it from other books, at a bookstore.
Right. I completely agree. And I
Yeah.
also feel like, and I don't know, this is controversial too, but I don't always need the happily ever after. I really
Yeah,
don't. I'm fine. Sometimes life is sad, but I just want a book that moves me.
for sure. Yeah.
And a good romance story, whether because I just I officiated my nephew's wedding last year, and one of the things I said was that there is no happily ever after. I mean, I've been married for 26 years. If this is happily ever after, it's been going on a really long time. So
And there are ups and downs, my
there are ups
friend.
and
Yeah.
downs. There is no happily ever after. There's still the fights over the dishwasher and the kids and the dogs and the pets and why didn't you turn left when I told you to turn left? I mean, that's happily ever after.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, it doesn't just end with the wedding,
Right.
right?
Absolutely. That is so true. And I appreciate you saying that. But so I'm curious to see how you see spicy romance books as a good entry point for people interested in learning more about, you know, self-pleasure, more pleasure between partners.
Right.
Like, how is it like a gateway or little gateway to your other store? Like, how do you see that working for
I
you?
think if you're reading these books, you're reading them for the tingle,
Hmm.
right? That's what you're reading them for. Like there's other books, there's other romance books you could be reading,
For
right?
sure.
But you're picking these out for a reason. And listen, like we all, it's a very natural human based emotion, right? It is vital for our mental health, our physical health.
Yeah.
And I think too, like no matter how old you are, right? Like I'm a menopausal woman, it's like, you know, I've been married for 26 years. I still enjoy reading these books. And then it's like, so like, I feel like if you are comfortable reading these books, you should be, I would hope, comfortable enough with your own body and your own idea of self pleasure to walk next door and say like, you know what, I could use a little more jolt with my tingle, right? And
Yeah.
I think that's what we provide. And I also think too, like I know I've spoken to a lot of women who said it's really reignited their relationships, right? Because you're laying next to the same partner for, umpteen years. And again, and you're happily ever after. And, you're reading these books and all of a sudden you're going like, huh, you know what? I'm feeling a little like spicy tonight. And you know what? And you can turn to the same partner that you've been with forever and be like, let's try something new, something spicy. And the books have been a great, great way. Like even look at, when you look again, 50 Shades of Grey, hate to keep referencing it because I don't think it was well written, but but I mean, I had no idea that so many, women were into light bondage, right? I mean,
Right.
who knew? I had no
Yep.
idea. And all of a sudden that was what was really selling and flying off the shelves for us. Benoit balls have been around for 1,500 years, and all of a sudden we couldn't keep them in stock.
Yeah.
So I think anything that like helps a woman or a man, but mostly it's a lot of women reading these books, like become more comfortable and connected to themselves sexually, I think is such a positive thing. And it's not, I love that this romance genre is allowing women to finally celebrate that. Like I will be driving down the street and I'll see someone with a, smut fan on their car bumper sticker. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl, own it.
Right.
Like,
For sure.
we're sexual beings and that should be celebrated.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how so many of them help, like, with the conversation. Like, if you don't know
Yeah.
how to have that, you can read about it in a book and learn some things, or even just how to have those difficult conversations
Right.
about protection or whatever. It helps you either to learn or to explore or think, oh, maybe I'd be interested in that. And then you can walk through that portal and
Exactly. Walk through the magic portal. Yeah.
yeah, it would help you like figure that out. So if those who maybe have a store like fantasy gifts near them, what would you say to people if they're nervous about going into it for the first time? Like, or how would you give them some help? Like, just do it or just ask for help
Well,
or
I would say this, like we're living in, we're in 2025 right now. So we're living in an age where you can buy, a vibrator anywhere, right? You can buy it at Target, you can buy it at Walgreens, you can buy it at CVS. If you're comfortable asking the clerk to unlock it for you and get it out from behind the glass and then putting it up on the, if so, I would say if you're really nervous or uncomfortable, your local adult store is your best friend because I will tell you, I've been in this industry now for 26 years in the adult industry, and this is probably the most professional industry I've ever seen. People in this industry, we take this very seriously. We take your health seriously. We take your rights seriously. We take your consent seriously. We are very, very concerned that you have a comfortable experience when you walk into an adult store. So really, if you have any trepidation about, exploring this side, your local adult store is the first place to start because you will walk, I can guarantee you can walk into almost any store and you will find a highly trained staff who will be like, well, what do you like? What have you tried? What's your price point? Let's start small, right? Don't go crazy. Don't buy a $200 item. Let's start with a $20 item. Try this, see if it works. If it works, come back. Let us know what worked for you. Have you tried this with your partner? We are literally your best resource because first of all, you can't embarrass us. We've heard
right.
everything. We are pseudo. I mean, I tell all my employees, you are a pseudo sex therapist. You have to
Mhm.
be very comfortable saying like, listen, a woman will come in. I'm suffering from cancer. I have vaginal dryness. I'm not able to orgasm easily anymore. What do you recommend? And we can tell you exactly where to go. Oh, you're a menopausal man and you have erectile dysfunction and you can't take Viagra. This is what we have for you. Oh, you're a partner looking to explore new things. Have you tried this? So I think if you, again, you're comfortable with enough to read these books, take it to the next level because, again, good sexes should be something, a good discussion that everyone should be able to have with themselves and with their partner because it's a normal, natural, healthy part of life.
Absolutely. And I love watching you on Instagram where your staff like goes through all these trainings all the time, probably not just
Yes.
on product or what it can do, but how to answer these questions for people. And I think that's fabulous. Yeah.
Yes, and like I said, and almost all adult stores are like us. I will say we're almost all, and like, don't want to be sexist, but we're almost all women run now, which is a huge change from when it was 26 years ago. But when I go to my trade shows now, like it's
Mhm.
almost all women running it, and I feel like we do bring like such a great perspective thing. So no matter where you are in the country, find your local adult store. I guarantee you will find highly, highly trained people who will help you, continue your journey. We say continue your fantasy. Like you're already reading the books for the tingle,
Yep.
explore that. That's normal and natural and healthy and fun, and we need some fun.
Yes, exactly. Do you feel like you and your staff hear the same questions all the time? I mean, you just hit the nail on the head on some of them, like hitting a certain age when dryness is going to hit
Right.
it, or are there certain things that you feel like people come in constantly and are like, "Hey, can I get your opinion on this?" Or
I definitely feel like if you're a beginner, you definitely, want to know. It's always like, what's the best? What's the best? It's like, well, there is no best. Because
Right.
I would say there's not quite as many tropes and like sex toys as there are in books, but there are a lot of tropes, right? Like, do you like a rabbit? Do you like a wand? Do you like a bullet? Do you like? I mean, there's a lot of different things in it. The more you know your body and what I always say, you always have to know what makes you feel good before you can bring that into that experience into a partner thing. You have to know
Right.
yourself first,
Right.
and I think one thing I like about like this gateway with romance books, it's like, younger women in their 20s, right, are
Mhm.
really, they know themselves way better than I knew myself in my 20s.
For sure.
And I love that. I think it's great. I'm just like, I feel like you go girls. Like if I knew now what I knew then, like at 20, like, oh my God, my life would have been so much better.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that is why I love that there are more romance only bookstores for that reason, especially when we've got book bans going and all this stuff. But
Right.
partnering in like with this fantasy gift store like yours, I think it's just all the better for women empowerment, just your own health and wellness. Like you said, that's fantastic. Oh,
Yeah, I love today that women in their 20s and just feel no, they don't feel the shame or discomfort. I think that a lot, like, even like my own mother, she's 85 now. I mean, she won't come into my store. You can't, but there's always like, oh, my daughter does this, and I'm like, mom, I'm proud of what I do. I
yeah.
really am. I feel like I run a nice business and I help people feel happy. So, it's a lot more exciting than insurance.
Oh gosh, yeah. Or law, like you said.
Right. Oh, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So now did I hear you're also planning to open another store? Tell me
We are. I know my staff is ready to kill me right now, but I basically said, I'm like, listen, I'm like we got this,
more. Yeah.
So we actually have a store in another town it's called Mount Holly, New Jersey, and it's like 30 miles north of our existing store, and it has a very similar layout where it's like it's got like a kind of its own little separate area. And then so like I feel like there needs to be a divider. I don't think people necessarily want to cross through the magic portal. So I want to make sure that I can keep the magic portal separate for those people who are comfortable. So this one also sets up. But what I'm really excited about with this space is I also have another 500 square feet that I'm turning into an author event space. Um, and I'm so excited about that because we had at our grand opening, we had about 250 women at our grand opening. And Lenny Mack and Christy Schulig were there and they were doing an author event. And our store is tiny, it's 500 square feet. And to get all those shoppers in and to give them the space and the attention they deserved, it was really tight. So
Mhm.
this is going to be like a dedicated space where
Wow.
we can host larger author talks and art, and craft events and book clubs and everything else without disrupting our bookstore space.
Yes.
So we're really, really excited about that because I feel like especially I'm on the East Coast in New Jersey, so there's so many authors in this area. but it's like it's hard. Like if they want to go do like an author talk event, like it's their dime sometimes to like rent out a room or rent out a conference room, and
Yeah.
so we don't charge for our room, which I love because I'm like, if
Yeah.
you're bringing women and men readers into my store, why would I charge you for that?
Right.
That seems crazy to me. Like if this is a win-win scenario. So yeah, we're really excited that. So I'm killing my staff right now because I'm like, we have to be open by Christmas, clearly, you know.
Clearly. Yes.
So I mean, duh. So yeah, so I'm killing them a little bit right now. They're a little angry with me, but they'll get over it.
And I think that is so key too, because people love to meet the people who are influencing them writing their books, and they get to be
Yes.
like, thank you so much. So to have that dedicated space, like you said, and more people who are buying their books, they're going to love it too. But I think that's incredible.
I know.
That's,
I mean, can you think of any other industry where you really meet your heroes like this? Right? Like
no.
every time I meet an author, I don't even know if I might not even have read your book, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, you wrote a book and you got it published. Like I'm already amazed by you.
Yes.
So
But even coming to an event at your store is so much more than anyone's ever had before, because if you go to one of those huge, I mean, I'm somewhat of an introvert. Like I get
right. Yeah.
overwhelmed. Like I'm not going to stand in line for 30 minutes, hi for a minute, and then you're off to the next line. That just sounds like yuck to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like a bad job fair.
It does. But to be able to like sit in this cute bookstore, really hear and talk to the author and have a chance to have them go sign your book, I think that's like, that's a dream. It's a
It's a
dream.
dream. Yeah, I do. And I feel and again, these authors are so amazing because they make themselves so accessible. Like so accessible. Like I can't believe how accessible they are. Like it's like you feel like, oh my gosh, like I really like, and they have street teams and those people are accessible. And it's a really I'm learning so much. It's such a cool industry. It really is. It's really unique.
Well, I'm just impressed that you have just taken an idea and run with it and are continuing to run with it. And it's obviously being so successful that, I mean, that takes a lot of, you know, nerve and just courage to do. And I'm just so happy for you. I think that's fantastic. And I'm
Well,
jealous.
I couldn't have done it without you, honestly, and the other bookstagrammers who really helped out because honestly, like there's so many titles. Like,
Oh,
how
man.
does one even begin to keep up? You definitely can't do it alone. You need a really good team to say like, have you need good customers too to be like, have you read this? Can you get this in? I love this. I need more of this. Like, it's all about talking with your readers and being like, gosh, what do you want?
Exactly. That's awesome. Yay.
Yeah.
Well, any other like so you don't sell online, so we'll remember, but everybody in New Jersey who's listening, go visit Romantasy Bookstore. I'm so jealous that you get to. And then the new store that's going to be coming up. But anything else to share to listeners just about the store or your journey?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we're pretty like we're still in the, like I said, we're going to open the second one, I think within a month. So
Mhm.
that's where we are with that. So definitely if you're a local author in the, tri-state area and you are looking for a venue to promote, hit us up. We're at romantasybookshop.com. But yeah, we're like I said, we're just really excited to continue the journey with the second location. And I feel like this is just such a natural tie-in. And we were really nervous, I think, going into it. Like we really were like, how separate do we need to keep the two worlds? We don't want to offend anybody. And I just love how open the community has been to like, oh my God, this is brilliant.
Yes. Yes.
So
And you're
it's just,
probably one of a kind, I
yeah,
imagine. Yeah.
I don't think anyone else is doing it the way we're doing it yet. I'm sure people are going to jump on it. Don't you feel too like people are really like there's so many stores opening now and pop-ups and like I just feel like my only concern I feel like with as an industry, I don't know if you share this, is I just don't want it to get oversaturated,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because as you know, there's not a lot of profit margins on books.
Yep.
So I don't want like everyone thinking, oh my God, I'm going to open a bookstore. It's going to be great. It's like, it still is it is great, but it is a lot of work and your margins are tight,
Right.
and as tight as our margins are, they're even worse for the authors. I think they make like $1 a book or something. It's
Right.
crazy, you
Yes.
know?
It is crazy. But I love the blind date with a book. I love the boxes that you're selling. Because I did a podcast episode a while back about books featuring toys, and it was so much fun to do that
I read
episode.
that. I read your blog on that too. And it was
Yeah,
funny because I started with that. I made like little book plates for all those books that you recommended. And then I paired them with a toy.
awesome. Oh my gosh.
So
That's
like, and so my fantasy gift stores, that's how it started. I think.
Oh, there you go. There you are.
Okay, I was like, I froze.
We
My
started
spotty
with those
Wi-Fi.
the pairings. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. The books
Yeah, so
is
that was a really great episode that you did. I loved that.
fun. Well, I'm jealous that people can go into the store and buy those. I think that's fantastic and perfect for upcoming holiday gifts. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah.
Yeah, what I love too is at the holidays is the number of like, well, first of all, even like we have what's called the husband count, right? So
Yeah.
in our store,
Nice.
like and the number, like even like on our opening day, like the number of men who are getting, my wife could, and they're like FaceTiming their partners and being like, okay, this one, no, oh no, the one to the right. And I'm going like, we're not going anywhere. She can come in anytime.
That's so incredible. Good,
Yeah, I
good
do. I
point.
think what I've learned after 26 years, and just in the adult industry, in particular with the books, is men will really let you do anything if it keeps you happy in that area.
For sure.
Like
Yeah.
no, like you want to buy 20 bucks, honey, you knock yourself out. I'm going to benefit from this somehow. So.
That's right. That's right. And those would probably be the best customers to come in and be like, what should I get her? That would be so much fun to be
Oh,
like,
exactly. And
yeah.
they do. They come in all the time, and it's so funny. But I love too, like how many mothers and daughters will come in and
Yes.
talk about the books and like, Mom, you've got to, like I just love that. Like I only have sons, so I don't have a daughter to share it with, but I love that daughters are sharing the books with their moms. I think it's amazing. And just, again, I think we've leapt forward so many years, like about being open about this, which I just think is a positive thing to be so sex positive at such a young age.
I agree. That's great. Well, and I'm grateful to you for helping people find that and to make it easier for folks with both of your stores. So that's incredible. Oh, where can people find you, your stores online on social so that they know when the next one's opening or just
Yes.
to follow you?
So you can follow us at Romantasy Bookstore on Instagram and Facebook. Our website is romantasybookshop.com. And our physical adult stores are fantasygiftsnj.com. And we actually have a new revamped website coming, I'm hoping, in a week. So we just have a lot going on.
You have a lot going on. That's incredible. Oh, but congratulations. Just, I'm so excited that it's just, you've hit the ground running and, already with Bookshop too. Like, wow, incredible.
Yes. Well, thank you. I mean, honestly, like podcasts like this have been so instrumental because I think, again, it gives readers a platform to be like, what's new? What's next? And I mean, I don't know, you get all the most amazing authors on. So
Well, we've been talking in the She Reads Romance Books book club that we need to meet in person. And so maybe New Jersey is a good
maybe New Jersey, I've got an
for us.
event space for you.
And
So
you'll come say hello. That would
we
be
got
awesome.
event space and authors who would love to talk with you.
We will
100%.
be in chat. Yes, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. We'd love that.
Well, thank you so much, Dee. Listeners, check out Romantasy Bookshop. It's incredible if you're in New Jersey, and can't wait to hear what comes next.
Great. Thank you, Leslie, so much for the time. And I apologize again for the technical difficulties this morning.
All good, all good.